A spiritual door is closing on October 10th, in 30 seconds. God and Archangel Michael says, only those who open this immediately will enter the new season. The Spirit of the Lord speaks, and Archangel Michael echoes it across the heavenly places. October 10th is not just a date. It is a divine countdown. A moment carved into the eternal calendar. A prophetic time step that heaven has etched in fire. It is the sound of a door closing in the spirit. A divine portal preparing to seal shut. And not all will walk through it. Heaven has measured the seconds, and the seconds are almost gone. In 30 seconds, destinies will realign. In 30 seconds, those who were behind will be shifted forward, and those who delayed will be left in the shadows of missed seasons. You feel it, don't you? The atmosphere around you has changed. The air is trembling. The veil between the realms is thin. There's a stirring in your spirit that cannot be explained, a sudden unease, a divine restlessness. That is not coincidence. That is the whisper of destiny calling. That is the vibration of angel wings moving. That is the divine hand of the Father separating the called from the casual. The doors in the spirit realm are trembling, and only those who respond in this holy moment will find themselves on the side of breakthrough. Not all will understand this urgency. Not all will feel it. This message is not for the masses. It is not for the lukewarm. This is for you. You who have felt the quickening in your spirit. You who have sensed the shift before it even arrived. You who have been positioned on the edge of something greater and have felt the heavens pressing in. At the threshold stands the mighty Archangel Michael, sword drawn, eyes blazing like fire, assigned to guard the gate between seasons. On the other side of this gate lies your next level, your new mantle, your divine release. But to enter, there is a condition. Not talent, not title, obedience, stillness, immediate faith response. A delay of one moment, the hesitation of one breath, may close what only opens once. You are not standing in front of just any door. You are standing in front of your door. A divine passageway that leads from former bondage into fresh anointing. But it opens by movement. It opens by obedience. It opens by the surrender of now. Heaven is not asking you to understand. Heaven is asking you to respond. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. Heaven is counting down. The realm of the Spirit has grown loud, too loud for those with ears to hear to ignore. The divine seconds are falling like thunder from eternity's clock. Even as these words reach your ears, a door in the Spirit is shifting. The hinges are creaking, the seals are trembling, and the atmosphere is heavy with decision. A door does not remain open forever. A door opens for the obedient, and then it closes for the hesitant. By the time this message ends, your spirit will have crossed a line, or missed it. Archangel Michael, commander of heavenly hosts and guardian of divine thresholds, stands before the gate. His sword is drawn, not in rage, but in readiness. His presence is not just for protection, but for separation. For he hath been summoned for this hour, to divide what was from what shall be, to ensure that those who do not belong in the next realm of promise will not trespass by accident, delay, or familiarity. This is not a casual invitation. This is a summons, and only the chosen will recognize it. There are many who will hear this and feel absolutely nothing. They will scoff. They will scroll. They will laugh. And they will miss it. Not because they were evil, but because they were unawakened. But you are not like them. You are not numb. You are not spiritually blind. Your heart hath been stirred. Your dreams have been disrupted. Your thoughts have been pierced. The trembling you feel in your chest, it's not anxiety. It's alignment. It's the sound of destiny pressing against the walls of your spirit. Can you feel it? The lights around your life have begun to flicker. Patterns have broken. Strange signs repeat. 1111, thresholds, gates, open doors. Your sleep is interrupted. Your routine feels unstable. You are being invited into something weightier, holier, more dangerous and more beautiful than anything you've known before. This is what it feels like when heaven sends for you. This is not a public word. This is not a general release. This is a sacred instruction. And sacred instructions require sacred responses. Obedience in silence. Obedience without explanation. Obedience that costs you your comfort but crowns you with clarity. This door, this one right here, is not like others you've passed. This one does not swing open for effort. It opens for surrender. It opens for the one who stops everything, falls to their knees and says, "Lord, speak. I am listening." It opens for the one who responds while others rationalize. It opens for the one who moves at the sound of the Lord's voice, not at the approval of men. Archangel Michael stands guard because the value of this door is not casual. It is kingdom. What waits behind it is not a small blessing. It is a holy assignment. A calling too weighty for the uncommitted. A season too sacred for the distracted. The Father does not invite lightly, and heaven does not count down without cause. This is your moment. This is your 30 seconds. This is your call. Will you walk through it before it seals behind you forever? Type "I receive the summons" in the comments if this word confirms what you feel in your spirit. Blessing code 777 is now hovering over your life. There is a strange trembling happening within you. You cannot explain it, but it follows you like a shadow through the day. This message pierced you, but something else immediately rose to distract you. Have you noticed? Right when you started to feel the pull, someone texted you. A noise erupted. An unnecessary task came forward. A petty thought tried to draw your attention away. This is no accident. This is spiritual interference. The enemy does not strike at random. He strikes at doors. And right now, the enemy sees you approaching something sacred. You are on the verge of crossing a threshold that hell has been fighting to keep you from. But the war is subtle. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It doesn't confront. It distracts. The enemy doesn't need to destroy you if he can delay you. A delay in this hour is as dangerous as disobedience. You must understand, heaven is moving, but so are unseen adversaries. They do not see what's behind your door, but they feel the weight of what's about to be released. They sense movement in the realm they cannot enter, but they can still try to keep you from responding in time. There are people around you right now who are spiritually blind to this moment, and they'll mock you for feeling the urgency. They'll laugh at your need for stillness. They'll say, "My so serious?" And they don't realize this isn't about emotion. This is about eternity. They are not your enemies, but they are not your guides. Stop seeking validation from those not assigned to your gate. Them can't see it because it's not for them to walk through. And that's okay. But you must not let their confusion become your delay. You are being pulled in two directions. forward into fire or backward into familiarity. There is a spiritual tug-of-war over your obedience. Heaven has declared movement, but hell has assigned resistance. It's why you feel disoriented. It's why the past is suddenly resurfacing. It's why old patterns are reappearing. This is the final test before transformation. Will you hesitate or will you move? There is something you must understand. The divine does not argue. It whispers once, and it moves. If you have heard this message, then heaven already knew your spirit was listening. Now the burden of movement lies with you. The disruption you feel is not confusion, it's confrontation. God is confronting every false comfort you've been clinging to. He is shaking your false security so that you will reach for the real door. Some of you have been asking, what is this door? But the question is not what. The question is when. And the answer is now. The moment is not waiting on explanation. It's waiting on execution. The door is spiritual, but the effect will be seen in the physical. Within hours of obedience, things will begin to move. Patterns will break. Things that were stuck will start to shift. But only for those who move when summoned. If you hesitate, you may feel it shut. Like a wind that passes, a grace that lifts, a silence that follows what should have been sound. But for those who obey, a spiritual wind becomes a current. The door doesn't just open, it pulls you through. Type "I will not miss my door" in the comments if you know this word is speaking directly to you. Blessing code 1313 is flowing now. If this message has stirred something deep in your spirit, if you feel the door, the weight, the urgency, then I invite you to become a part of this prophetic assignment. Your support helps us take these divine instructions to the ends of the earth. Every seed you sow opens a gate for another soul. Every gift becomes a light in someone's darkest moment. This is not just content, it's commission. As it is written, give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. The fields are ready, the oil is flowing, the windows of heaven are open. I hear the Spirit say, those who give into this word shall receive the reward of obedience attached to it. If you're led to respond, you can support this mission through Super Thanks, YouTube membership, or donate via PayPal using the link in the video description below. Do not delay. Respond to the stirring. Release the seed. Receive the shift. Heaven is watching your response. The chaos you've been experiencing is not random. The confusion, the emotional heaviness, the unexpected attacks, the delays that seem to rise without reason. This is not life being difficult. This is warfare being strategic. What you're feeling is the shaking of the invisible as it collides with the visible. What's been opposing you isn't just circumstance. It is resistance sent to test your resolve before your release. The moment a spiritual door is about to open, all of hell is briefed. Your name is whispered in the shadows. Your next season becomes the next target. But understand this truth. Opposition is the echo of importance. Hell doesn't target what it's not threatened by. And right now, the pressure around you is confirmation that you are standing in front of something sacred. A spiritual door is about to close behind you, and another is about to open in front of you. But the crossing is not casual. It is fortified. It is guarded. It is sacred ground that must be stepped upon with authority, not apology. Archangel Michael, the warring Prince of Heaven, stands at this threshold, not to prevent your entry, but to protect what lies beyond. He is not just fighting beside you. He is clearing the way for you. Every blow you felt in this season has been parried by angels on assignment. Every dart sent to distract you hath been intercepted in the unseen realm. You have no idea how many battles were fought on your behalf simply because you were marked to walk through this door. Yes, the fight has been long. Yes, it's been lonely. Yes, some days you questioned if God still sees you. But hear this clearly. He never took his eyes off you. Heaven is watching your response, not your perfection. And your decision to stay faithful, even in silence, has activated movement in the heavens. God is not ignoring your cries. He's aligning them with timing. What feels like delay is often divine filtration. God has not been stalling you. He's been protecting your gate. Every denied opportunity, every unanswered prayer, every closed door was the mercy of God shielding you from premature exposure. You are not late. You are right on schedule. Because this October 10th moment was written before time, and your pain was never wasted. It was weighing you down so you wouldn't outrun your divine window. You must also realize that what you're walking through is a test. The confusion, the setbacks, the betrayal, even the temptation to settle, these are the markers of a pre-gate battle. They come not because God has abandoned you, but because the enemy senses you're about to graduate realms. Hell is nervous. Demons have recognized your name in the spiritual registry. Your door hath been noticed, and they cannot stop the opening, so they seek to stop you. This is why the pressure has increased just days before October 10th. It's why your emotions have felt heavier, your mind more scattered, your prayers more urgent. The pressure is not punishment. It's a precursor to promotion. The higher the warfare, the greater the gate. But here is your peace. You are not alone in the fight. Archangel Michael is not a symbol. He is a warrior. He is present. He is assigned. He is already stationed. The enemy sees him and flees, not because of your strength, but because of the authority backing you. So now, shake off the confusion. Stand up in boldness. Fix your gaze forward. And remember this, heaven is not watching to see if you're perfect. Heaven is watching to see if you trust. Because those who trust walk forward even when the terrain is dark. Those who trust move even when the map is unclear. Those who trust enter the door, not because they know what's behind it, but because they know who called them through it. Type "I trust heaven's timing" in the comments if this word confirms your warfare is tied to your destiny. Blessing code 1001 has just been released. There is a finality moving through the spirit realm. A sacred wind has begun to stir, and it carries with it the sound of divine closure. The countdown is no longer hidden. The shift is no longer subtle. October 10th is not approaching. It is already here. The realm of heaven is now fully engaged, and the door that once waited in silence is now trembling beneath the weight of prophetic time. And this must be heard clearly. Within 72 hours of this moment, your decisions will no longer be invisible. They will become manifested movement in your life. Heaven will respond not to what you hope, but to what you choose. This door, this sacred spiritual doorway, is not symbolic. It is not poetic. It is real, it is active, and it is closing. And when it closes, it will seal one chapter and open another, but not for everyone. Only those who moved. Only those who obeyed in faith. Only those who did not wait for comfort, clarity, or crowd consensus. The Spirit of the Lord says, "My wind will blow, and it will both seal and unlock." The same breath will close the former and open the future. You must decide which side of that wind you will stand on. The signs have already been sent to you. Dreams of water, visions of thresholds, a recurring sense of movement, keys, doors, elevators, bridges, sudden relocations, conversations that seem out of place but strike the soul. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. The Spirit had been testifying, softly but repeatedly. You felt it. You've known something is near. You've known something is ending, and something is beginning. This is that moment. And now, what was spiritual will become physical. You will begin to notice that the decisions you made in silence are triggering movements in your environment. Opportunities will either appear or vanish. Relationships will either deepen or dissolve. Provision will either flow or dry up. These manifestations are not random. They are heaven's reflection of your obedience. The invisible will become visible. The choices you made in secret are now calling forth consequence or reward. There is danger in hesitation. There is risk in delay. This door was not made to remain open forever. It was made to open once, and for the obedient alone. Not because God is cruel, but because timing is holy, and heaven does not tolerate apathy in sacred moments. If you delay, you will sense the moment passing, not in punishment but in silence. A stillness will settle in. A silence will fall where there was once fire, and it will feel like a door you could have walked through now sealed behind glass. But for those who respond, for those who say yes now, who act when others are analyzing, something supernatural will happen. Heaven will stretch open the veil. The wind of God will begin to accelerate your steps. Doors you didn't knock on will begin to swing open. People you've never met will begin to reach out. Things that were delayed for years will begin to gather speed. This is the divine difference between those who moved in time and those who waited for signs after the wind had passed. Not everyone will see what is behind the door, and not everyone is meant to. This door is encoded. It opens by obedience, not understanding. Some will only realize what they missed after it closes. But for you, if you act now, the window will not close on regret. It will close behind you as a seal, a signature of heaven that says, they crossed over. They are covered. They are mine. Type I will move before the window closes if your spirit knows you're standing at the edge of decision. Blessing code 3030 is now released upon the timely. Be still now. The wind has begun to blow. The shaking has taken place, and the prophetic door is closing even as you breathe. But stillness is not passivity. Stillness is strategy. Stillness is warfare without motion. And in this final hour before the October 10th gate seals itself, heaven is commanding you to pull away from the noise, silence the opinions, and stand in holy focus. Heaven moves when you stop striving. The spiritual winds do not respond to frantic action. They respond to surrendered alignment. You are being called to a kind of silence that is louder than shouting. You are being summoned into a divine stillness that speaks louder than all your activity. This is the hour where less movement means more access. This is the hour where you no longer chase, but attract. You are no longer required to wrestle in flesh, but to rest in faith. The Lord is your defender now. The Lord is your confirmation. The Lord is your voice above the chaos. And He is saying, withdraw into the secret place, for I am about to speak. In this final passage of spiritual transition, The safest place is not among the crowd. The safest place is not in endless strategy or loud declarations. The safest place is in the quiet place, the secret place, the chamber of communion. Heaven is whispering secrets that cannot be heard above the noise. If you want to discern what's coming after the door closes, you must meet him in the stillness before it does. Fast. Pray. Turn your attention inward. Pull away from the digital clutter. Shut the mouths that echo confusion. Turn off the sounds that feed your doubt. And write. Yes, write. The Spirit is pouring revelation into journals, not stages. Into secret rooms, not loud platforms. God is speaking in this hour in the language of intimacy, and if you are not still enough to hear it, you may miss the final instruction that unlocks the path beyond the door. You are not in danger, you are in transition. And in transition, the enemy tries to tempt you with unnecessary motion. You will say, fix it. Call them. Do something. But God is saying, be still and know that I am God. Because what you're facing right now is not a result of failure. It's a preparation for placement. You are not losing. It only feels that way because the old structure is falling to make room for the new. Stillness will allow the divine to rearrange what your striving would only disrupt. Speak this now. I will not miss my divine timing. My spirit is in sync with heaven's calendar. I will not be rushed. I will not be delayed. I will not bow to fear. I will posture myself in sacred stillness, and heaven will move for me. This is your positioning. This is your preparation. This is your posture of power. The door that is closing does not require you to force it open. It requires you to remain yielded until it pulls you through. For those who dare to be still in the storm, God becomes the hand that guides them through the fire. And when the dust settles, it will be said of you, they did not run. They did not panic. They obeyed, and the door opened to them. Stillness is not absence. It is alignment. Obedience in stillness is still obedient. And in these final sacred hours, heaven is watching not how fast you move, but how fully you yield. Type I will be still and listen in the comments if your spirit is ready to rest under divine instruction. Blessing code 818 has now been released over your inner chamber. You are not who you were before October 10th. That version of you, the hesitant one, the bound one, the unsure one, was only meant to survive the wilderness. But now, as the door closes behind you, a divine exchange is taking place. The old you is being left behind in the hallway of hesitation, and the anointed you is rising in the threshold of transformation. This moment is not just a shift in season. It is a shift in identity. What the enemy tried to crush, God is now commanding to reign. You feel it in your spirit, don't you? The fear is lifting. The fog is fading. There is a fire beginning to form in your chest. It is not anxiety, it is awakening. It is heaven marking you for rulership in a realm you've never walked in before. This is no longer about survival. This is about dominion. And the trembling you once felt in the presence of destiny is now becoming the roar of your spiritual authority. Wings are unfolding. Chains are shattering. Your back is straightening. Your voice is gaining strength. You are not the same. The glory of God has pressed upon you like weight, and now, what once threatened to crush you has instead crowned you. You have passed through fire and not been burned. You have walked through delay and not lost your hope. You have endured betrayal, silence, uncertainty, and spiritual warfare. And yet here you are, still standing. Not weak and not worn, but commissioned. Heaven did not bring you to this door to tease you. Heaven brought you to this moment to transition you from fear into fire, from questioning into command, from searching into standing. You were chosen for this door not because you were the loudest, but because you were the most obedient in the silence. You didn't quit when the process stretched long. You didn't retreat when clarity was scarce. You endured. You listened. You waited. And now, the reward is not just access, it is authority. This new season will not recognize the version of you that kept apologizing for your anointing. This realm will not open to the one who questioned every word they carried. You must now walk forward as one who belongs here. No more thinking. No more second guessing. No more rehearsing your failures. God has handed you a new garment, a fresh mantle. Wear it. Honor it. Walk in it. The fear of yesterday has no place in the feet of the called. This is your rebirth. This is your emergence. The spiritual door that is closing behind you is not rejection. It is redirection. It is God saying, that season is finished. That version of you has completed its assignment. Now rise. The tears you cried in secret were watering the soil of this moment. The questions you held in silence were being answered in the chambers of heaven. And the weight you carried in private is now the oil being poured over your crown. You are not entering empty-handed. You are stepping through with the scars of battles you survived and the wisdom of wounds you did not let define you. This door has not just opened you into a new time, it has opened you into a new stature. Heaven does not open what it does not intend to entrust. You have been entrusted with this door. You have been marked with fire, sealed with purpose, and released with power. Now walk like it. Speak like it. Move like it. For you are not just passing through a door. You are stepping into the throne room of your calling. Type "I step forward in dominion" in the comments if you know you're not just crossing a threshold, but rising in rank. Blessing code 5555 is now igniting your spiritual authority. There comes a moment when what was hidden becomes revealed, when the mystery gives way to meaning, and when the weight you carried becomes the reward you receive. This is that moment. The door was never just a passage, it was a test. It was a divine filter to separate the casual from the called, the comfortable from the committed, the curious from the consecrated. And now, the verdict from heaven is clear. Those who obeyed have crossed into the realm of activation. The voice of the Lord is thundering across the gates of October. This door was not about escape, it was about entrance. Not just into a new season, but into your divine assignment. There are mantles falling right now. Scrolls are being opened. Oil is being released. Not to everyone, but to those who responded in time. Those who stopped what they were doing. Those who discerned the timing. Those who heard the whisper in the noise and said, "Yes, Lord, I will move." This is the release. This is the revealing. This is the moment where heaven says, "Because you obeyed, I can now reveal what I kept hidden for your protection." For some of you, your next instructions are already forming in your dreams. For others, your circle is about to change. Your location may shift. Your responsibilities will increase. Why? Because the door was the test, and your life was the answer. God now trusts you with what others squandered. He trusts you with territory, with favor, with assignments that only those refined by fire can carry. Prophetically, this moment is not just about reward, It is about alignment. Your name has been called out in the councils of heaven. Your obedience has activated a line of divine inheritance. Angels assigned to dormant blueprints are now being redeployed to your life. Heaven has written your name into the ledger of October's awakening. And that entry is more than symbolism. It is covenant. It is confirmation. It is heaven's way of saying, you are no longer waiting. You are now walking. And yet, even now, the mystery remains. Not everything behind the door will be seen immediately. Some of what you've walked into will take weeks, even months, to unfold. But don't be dismayed. This is not delay. It is depth. God is not giving you a flash, He is giving you a foundation. The purpose behind this door is not to entertain. It is to establish. What is being given is not temporary. It is timeless. This is your era of becoming, not just your moment of arrival. You have entered the realm of hidden favor, blessings prepared before the foundation of the world, now being released because your spirit aligned with the timing of God. Communions, divine relationships, strategic revelation, unusual pavilion. All of it had been held in a vault until your obedience unlocked the code. You didn't manipulate your way here. You didn't rush. You didn't try to impress. You simply obeyed when the whisper came. That obedience has now become your open heaven. Heaven only opens what you are ready to steward. That's why the delay felt so heavy. That's why the door took so long to appear. God had to wait until you were ready, not emotionally, but spiritually. And now, because your posture matches your promise, the release is not just permitted, it is prophetic. What's coming next will not be forced. It will flow. So now, lift your head. You're not guessing anymore. You're walking in revelation. You're not hoping to be seen. You've been recognized. You're not begging for permission. You've been activated by heaven. Type "I am walking in revelation" in the comments if you know this is your hour of prophetic fulfillment. Lesson code 4141 is now inscribed over your assignment. The door has opened for you. Now let it open for others. When you support this prophetic mission, you help carry the oil to souls still trapped behind the veil. Your seed becomes a sound. Your gift becomes the gate. This is more than generosity. It's divine partnership. As it is written, those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. I feel strongly, there are some of you whom God is prompting even now. He says, if this word was for you, then be part of the fire that spreads it. Support through Super Thanks, YouTube membership, or a one-time seed via PayPal in the description below. This is holy ground. Sow into it with boldness. Heaven honors the giver who responds to the oil. Step into this moment. Release what's in your hand, and God will release what's in His. You have crossed the threshold. You have passed through the fire. You have received the instruction. Now, heaven waits for your response. This is not the time to ask what's next. This is the moment to declare, yes, Lord, I'm ready. This door was never meant to end in revelation alone. It was meant to lead to activation. And activation does not begin with miracles, and begins with a decision. The holy result. A spiritual agreement with what God already wrote in your book before the foundation of the world. There is power in your yes. Not a passive yes. Not a fearful yes. But a full, surrendered, destiny-shifting yes. The kind of yes that makes angels move and demons tremble. The kind of yes that unlocks dormant assignments. The kind of yes that breaks cycles, writes timelines, and establishes territory. This is what heaven had been waiting on, not your perfection, not your plan, but your permission. The door has been opened. Another question remains. Will you walk through it with full authority, or will you tiptoe into it with doubt? This moment is about alignment. Your obedience is the key that turns the lock. Your agreement is the signal that the activation can begin. Some of you have been waiting for signs. Now heaven is waiting for your response. Because faith does not wait for comfort. Faith moves first. Faith speaks first. Faith walks when the outcome is unclear, because it knows the one who called. You must begin to declare what you've only dared to dream. You must speak aloud what you've kept buried in your heart. Say it. I am chosen. I am ready. I am sent. Say it until the atmosphere shifts. Write it until your identity catches up to your calling. Move like someone who belongs in this next season. Heaven is not dragging you. Heaven is inviting you. But only those who move will manifest. Your steps matter now. Your decisions are not random. Every yes, every no, every boundary, every door you close, every risk you take in faith, each one is pulling the blueprint off the shelf and into real time. You are not guessing. You are activating. This is not a suggestion from God. This is a commissioning. And the Spirit of the Lord says, you and heaven move as one. Do not shrink back. Do not say, I need more confirmation. This is the confirmation. This is your burning bush. This is your Red Sea moment. This is your upper room encounter. You are not being asked to figure it all out. You are being asked to say yes and step. Because God doesn't need you to see the whole staircase. He needs you to take the first step. And with that first step, something holy begins to shake. Heaven is responding to movement now. Not potential. Not procrastination. Not passivity. But movement. And this movement doesn't require crowds. It doesn't require applause. It requires faith. Faith that says, I will not die in the hallway. I will not stay where I've outgrown. I will not rehearse what God has already released me from. I will walk. So activate it. Walk it. Write it. Declare it. Release the fear. Release the hesitation. Because your destiny does not live in delay, it lives in obedience. And every time you obey, heaven shouts, that's them. That's the one we marked. That's the one we anointed. That's the one we've been waiting on. You are not just stepping into a new chapter. You are stepping into your authored calling. Your yes is the gate. Your yes is the key. Your yes is the sound that unlocks realms. Type ISAYYS to destiny in the comments if you know your voice is the final sound the door has been waiting for. Blessing code 1919 is now unlocking divine instruction over your next move. Right now, even in this very moment, something divine is happening behind the veil. You may not see it. You may not feel it. But the spirit realm is not still. It is in motion. There is a holy negotiation underway, a sacred exchange between what has been stolen and what is about to be restored. The door you stepped through was not just a passage of time. It was a gateway into an invisible courtroom, a realm where angels are assigned, mantles are transferred, and heaven writes what the enemy tried to erase. There is a silence that falls before a shift, and that is what you're sensing. It's not delay. It's not confusion. It's the stillness of holy arbitration. While you rest, heaven moves. When you worship, angels war. While you weep, God records. Every unspoken cry, every whispered yes, every surrendered moment has triggered movement in dimensions you cannot access with your natural eyes. But that movement is real. That movement is for you. You see, in the courts of heaven, your obedience speaks louder than your voice. There is a record of your endurance, a memorial of your prayers, a divine transcript of every moment you chose to keep believing when doubt screamed louder. And right now, that record is being weighed. Judgments are being made. Restitution is being assigned. It may feel quiet in your life, but it is not quiet in the spirit. The enemy thought you were too weak. He thought the delay would make you quit. He hoped the silence would make you give up. But what the enemy forgot is that God watches in silence too. And when God is silent, it is never absence. It is arrangement. What you thought was an activity was actually divine intercession. The Spirit has been interceding with groanings too deep for words. There has been a silent war in the heavens, and now the scales are tipping in your favor. The breakthrough doesn't always announce itself with a trumpet. Sometimes it begins with peace, with stillness, with a sudden shift in your atmosphere, a rest you can't explain, a burden that lifts with no warning. That is not coincidence, that is evidence. It's the sign that heaven has ruled in your favor, that something has been returned to your spiritual account, that what was locked up is being released back into your life with interest. What was delayed is now being dispatched. What was stolen is now being restored. What was hidden is now being handed to you. Don't underestimate this silence. It is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of strategy. Heaven is repositioning people, redirecting resources, assigning relationships, releasing answers. The doors that once resisted you will now recognize you. The favor that once eluded you will now find you. The weight that once sat on your chest will now become the wind beneath your wings. You are not waiting for things to happen. You are walking through things that have already been settled. You are stepping into outcomes that have already been declared in the courts of heaven. It may not look like it yet, but the exchange has begun. The shift is happening. The release is on its way. And when it arrives, it won't just bless you. It will silence every voice that ever doubted what God said about you. So rest, not in laziness but in knowing. Rest in the truth that your name is being spoken in places you haven't walked into yet. Rest in the confidence that the Spirit is finishing what you surrendered to begin. This is not the end. This is the exchange. Type "I receive what heaven has negotiated for me" in the comments if your spirit senses the silent breakthrough. Blessing code 2323 is releasing angelic transactions now. Heaven has ruled, and now justice is rising. The spiritual door that closed behind you did not simply mark a new beginning. It triggered a reversal in the courts of heaven. This is not just about access. This is about recompense. What was withheld from you illegally, through delay, dissection, or sabotage, is now being returned by divine command. For the Lord has spoken. This is the hour of justice for the faithful. Yes, they mocked you while you waited. Yes, they laughed when your prayers seemed unanswered. Yes, they assumed your silence meant defeat. But what they didn't know was that your silence was pregnant with power. Your stillness was warfare. And your waiting was not weakness. It was weaponized patience. Now God says, enough. The ridicule stops. The injustice ends. The scale has tipped. What was unfair is about to be undone. The ones who overlooked you are about to witness your rising. The ones who counted you out are about to see the count reversed. The voices that said you missed it are about to watch you walk into it. The reversal has begun. And it is not man-made, it is heaven-backed. This is not vindication by revenge. This is vindication by righteousness. The type that cannot be argued. The type that doesn't need explanation. The type that carries the unmistakable fingerprint of God. The Lord says, I have seen every closed door. I have recorded every unjust delay. I have heard every whispered lie, and I have bottled every tear. Now I rise as judge and deliverer. This is spiritual justice. This is holy retribution. Not against people, but against the spirit that tried to muzzle you, bury you, and strip you of your purpose. This spirit has now been overruled by the blood of Jesus and the voice of your obedience. This is what divine reversal looks like, when the last becomes first, when the rejected becomes the redeemed, when the mislabeled becomes the mantle bearer. This is when time lost is suddenly restored, when relationships sent by God begin to appear out of nowhere, when opportunities that passed you by suddenly find their way back to your doorstep. Why? Because the season has changed, and the court of heaven has issued a new decree. You are no longer waiting. You are walking in fulfillment. Do not be surprised when the very ones who dismissed you begin to inquire about your voice. Do not be shocked when the door that slammed in your face begins to open at your name. Do not be confused when the thing you thought died begins to breathe again. This is not coincidence. This is justice. This is what happens when God decides it's your time. Not just your time to enter, but your time to reclaim. And hear this clearly, nothing is too far gone. No delay is beyond redemption. No loss is beyond the reach of divine reversal. The enemy tried to convince you that it was over, that it was too late, that you missed your window. But heaven says, what I sealed for them can never be stolen by time. The blessing is still yours. The promise is still alive. The inheritance is still active. And now it comes with interest. This is not just your rising. This is your restoration. This is the moment where the sorrow of your former season becomes the celebration of your present one. The door that closed behind you has sealed off every lie, every label, and every limitation. And the door that opened before you now carries justice as your banner. Type divine justice is mine in the comments if you know the reversal has been triggered. Blessing code 7070 is now surrounding your name in the heavenlies. The door has closed. The countdown has completed. The shift is no longer coming. It has come. And because you move in time, because you responded in obedience, because you discerned the voice in the midst of the noise, you are now sealed into the next season. This isn't theory. This is reality. This isn't emotional. This is eternal. What heaven initiated on October 10th will not be reversed. Your obedience has placed you under divine covering. The old version of you cannot walk into this future. The old pain cannot follow you. The former chains have no authority here. The version of you that hesitated had been buried in the hallway. What remains now is the you that said yes. The you that stood in faith. The you that heaven recognizes. You are no longer waiting for access. You are the access point. You are no longer praying for permission. You have been commissioned. You are no longer beneath. You are aligned. Everything that needed to shift has already started moving. The atmosphere around you will begin to testify. The people around you will begin to notice. You'll feel the silence breaking. You'll feel the hand of God guiding you with clarity. You'll sense the Spirit confirming your steps, not with noise but with peace. So now, walk boldly. Walk without apology. Heaven is not looking at what you lack. Heaven is blessing what you've already surrendered. You may not have had all the answers. You may not have known every step. But you responded in the seconds that mattered. You moved when others waited. And for that, you are now in the lineage of those who crossed over. This is your moment to breathe, not because the battle is over, but because the season has shifted. You are seen. You are sealed. You are sent. There is no more delay. No more doubt. No more distraction. What has begun in the Spirit will now manifest in your steps. I leave you with this. No door formed against you shall remain open once heaven seals it. And no door destined for you shall remain closed once heaven commands it. Type "My NEW season begins now" in the comments if you receive this final sealing word. Blessing code 999 is now upon you. This is complete. The shift has been made. Walk forward. As this prophetic word comes to a close, the mission doesn't end, it expands. If this message has marked your spirit, if you felt heaven stir your steps and confirm your calling, then I invite you to help carry this fire into the lives of others. This is more than a broadcast. It is a divine trumpet sounding in the wilderness of confusion. Every seed you sow allows someone else to find the door in time. The Spirit is saying, those who give into this moment shall receive the inheritance attached to the message. When you support through YouTube's Super Thanks, membership, or donate via PayPal linked in the video description, you are not just giving, you are participating in the spiritual building of altars. Altars where others will find clarity, confirmation, and breakthrough. Be part of this. Sow into it. Bless it. And heaven will multiply it back into your own life. 30, 60, even 100-fold. This is holy ground. Honor it. Move now.